everyone, welcome back to my channel, and we are back for another video. See, I did a little pun here. As you guys liked the first episode, I call it now episode, with the anthology tour I did. So now we are back for the What If series on John Farnham. So for today's episode I'm giving a sense and idea of we are going back in time to the year of 1988. We all know that the success of Whispering Jack blew up in Australia and other countries. What if it happened the same way in the United States, with the popularity that Whispering Jack takes over America for the US leg of the Jack's Back tour? Let's see what if it happened. Let's start with the real life timeline. The album, Whispering Jack, came out October 20th, 1986. It came success never expected for John because John went through a depression of so many failed attempts in the past of music after his experience with LRB, late 1970s washed up cabaret singer, and a Sadie curse that cursed John's life after his first hit, Sadie the Cleaning Lady, came out back in 1967. However, the album was a make-or-break album, and yes, it came success. Never been so happy. Now the hard work is ready to begin. So, John is taking the album Whispering Jack on the road in October 1986 to March of 1987, toured as the first leg of Whispering Jack tour. But here's the thing though. They toured from shitty pub gigs all the way through bigger concert arenas. But it was a fun time until John traveled overseas to Europe and Canada to promote the album. However, John came back to Australia for a most anticipated popular demand as a second leg of Whispering Jack tour called as the Jack's Back Tour. Toured across Australia and New Zealand, beating out Billy Joel and Michael Jackson from early November 1987 to the New Year's in January 2nd, 1988. For 2 months, then, days later, John receives the Australian of the Year award after 15 months of releasing Whispering Jack. Now, moving on to the what if timeline is, what would the success of Whispering Jack came very huge overseas? Well, let's see how it happens. With the release of Whispering Jack, of course, came success. Then toured between October 1986 to March of 1987. Somehow, the album came success overseas between February to April 1987, in Europe and Asia as a #1 album. Then John toured in Europe for the rock pop shows. Then a surge came around out of nowhere in August 1987 in Canada. And this will be the beginning of the surge coming to the US. And the album came success as a top 10 album in the charts in Canada. Somehow the album came a surge to the American border in late September 1987. When Whispering Jack album came to the US market, in the first few weeks didn't do well until hitting October 1987 when You're the Voice and Pressure Down hitting the US Billboard charts, with You're the Voice in the top 10 and Pressure Down has started hitting into the top 20 in the following week after You're the Voice. Jack is hitting the radio stations in the US. However, John and Glenn didn't know that Whispering Jack already came success in the United States, until John embarked on a second leg of Whispering Jack as the Jack's Back tour in Australia, touring from November to December 1987. When the tour is ready to commence, kicking off in Adelaide on November 2nd, 1987, there was a phone call from RCA New York calling to Glenn Wheatley saying there's been a popular demand in the United States saying bring Jack to America, and actually there is a campaign saying bring John Farnham Tour in America or bring Whispering Jack to tour, until negotiation with John if he will be interested touring in the United States for Whispering Jack. Not like after his bad experience with Little River Band, and halfway through the tour, John agreed. Then on November 30th, 1987, a big day for American fans as listening on the radio for an interview with John. Talking on a cell phone because John's currently touring in Australia and he'll be in Brisbane at the time of the conversation, where John Farnham has his first American interview until he officially announced he'll be touring in the US in February 1988. and the tickets will go on sale in early December 1987. John would tour in 7 locations and 14 shows. Here's what will be the tour dates. So the tour will kick off in January 30th and 31st in Montreal, February 1st and 2nd in Vancouver, then February 4th in Washington, D.C., then February 6th and 7th in Los Angeles, then February 9th, 10th, and 11th in Las Vegas, then February 12th and 13th in Orlando, and February 14th and 15th in New York, before coming back to Australia for the Melbourne Music Show will be held in Melbourne in February 20th, 1988. Now, here is the setlist for the US leg for the Jack's Back Tour. However, in this setlist is pretty much different to the Australian setlist. As of this time, it's an unknown of an official setlist from the official Jack's Back Tour. And some songs are very surprising for new fans, never heard or brand new songs would be performed just for that leg for the US fans to be introduced for a new album that will be coming out in the same year in 1988. So, here is the setlist for the tour. So, it kicks off with Reasons, One Step Away, then Matilda, but here's the thing, Matilda hasn't performed since the Uncovered Tour 1981. And some shows, this song will be removed. Then we go to No One Comes Close, Trouble, Love to Shine, When the War is Over, and then we move to Touch of Paradise. And then John is going to introduce a brand new song will be off the new album and play the guitar on Burn Down the Night. Then we go to Justice for One, That's No Way to Love Someone, Pressure Down, Some Do, Some Don't, One The Loneliest Number, but however, the song will be removed halfway through the tour. Help, Down on the Border, Playing to Win, and Long Way to the Top. Then we go to the encore with Age of Reason, introducing as a new song, and You're the Voice. But some songs during the tour does not represent for each show. Some songs were performed such as Infatuation, Going, Going, Gone, and Let Me Out. The aftermath of the tour, would it be success? Yes, it would be a successful tour in the USA. Fans would introduce for more fun and mayhem with his next album, Age of Reason. But suddenly, a tour that never happened, that they promoted the album, but never done a US leg of Age of Reason. Well, I wish it happened, but in the What If timeline, it didn't happen. But in real life, I think it kind of did, but I don't know. So they just done a short promotional tour for the album. However, the following year in 1989 would change Australian and American television, teaming up to bring Farnham to your television screen before heading off a new decade going through the 1990s. Well, that is it for the What If series. I'm actually really enjoying working these type of series. I'm pretty interested to explore what Farnham missed these opportunities, like touring worldwide, do a TV special, do a live album, etc. I'm looking forward what I'm going to be exploring for and introduce to that to you guys. So thanks so much for watching this episode. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. Don't miss a single video every time I drop a new one. So take care of yourselves, everyone. Stay safe and peace.